I do think that blah, 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 blah. I'll just cut that out. Hey you guys, welcome to my Arnold 2023 recap video. I have a few talking points about the Wellness Division show that I want to address, as well as a few general talking points that I want to go through with you guys. So let's get into it. Okay, so Wellness International. Here are the final results for the wellness show. In first place, we had Cass Gillis, followed by Angela Borges, and then third place was Rayanne Fogel. Congratulations to you top three ladies, quite an accomplishment. I've noticed that there is some controversy on Instagram. Some people are saying that Rayanne should have been first and not Cass. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but we have to remember that wellness is still a fairly new division. The judges, they created the criteria for the division, so they know what they're looking for, and we just all have to take their lead and what they determine what the criteria actually looks like. They determine who fits the criteria the best. So it's kind of a learning curve. We're all learning from the judges' decisions that they've been making at the pro shows, and it's really interesting to see what they see differently than what we see maybe on Instagram on the pay-per-view. And I do know things look different in person than they look online, so that is something to keep in mind as well. As far as the judges knowing what the criteria looks like the best, I would like to see better commentators when they have a live stream like a pay-per-view or something. The commentators for the Arnold, they had no idea what they were talking about with wellness, so they really just ended up talking kind of like, wow, she looks great, she looks fantastic, wow, look at her glutes, wow, she looks great. They didn't really have anything of substance to talk about, whether it was conditioning, size, shape, like they didn't know what they were looking for. And it almost came off kind of creepy in a few instances where they were joking with each other like, oh, he can't even say anything because his jaw is on the floor, you know, he's drooling. And I don't like to see the girls, the competitors on stage being over-sexualized like that. I think is unnecessary. But also the fact, like, you knew that you were commentating for this event, you could have done a little bit more research on the all of the divisions so that you had a little bit more substantial opinions about what we were looking at in order to provide better commentary for the event. So I would like to see somebody who's more knowledgeable about the wellness division commentating on the shows. Like Johnny Styles, he is a big factor on why the IFBB started including the wellness division in the first place. So he is probably one of the most knowledgeable individuals that could be commentating on an event like this. There were a couple things that I wanted to talk about individual competitors. Angela's posing. She kind of looked like she forgot what she was doing. She forgot how to do her transitions. I've seen some people say it looked like she was posing flat-footed. Maybe she needs a different heel height or something, but yeah, I agree. She definitely did not look comfortable on that stage. She looked kind of awkward. She didn't really know which direction she was gonna turn, or she just forgot. I know that the nerves are a factor, but she's been a competitor for a long time. She came over from a different federation. She's no stranger to the nerves. She should be able to pose correctly in a way that enhances her physique. But her second placing, it does show that she obviously was enhancing her physique in a way that the judges liked. I did have a little bit of an issue where it looked like Cass lost her conditioning in her midsection quite frequently. It had to do with her breathing. So you can still engage your core while taking breaths. So that could have also been nerves for her, where she was like losing her core tightness whenever she breathed. I think that's something that maybe she could work on. Or maybe they could just bring the conditioning up a little bit more so it doesn't look like she loses it so much when she takes a deep breath. That's something that I was kind of surprised when she placed first, because it looked to me like she didn't have conditioning in her midsection for a majority of the show. But when she did engage her core and brace, she had just as much conditioning as everybody else in her core, but she lost it so frequently that you kind of forgot. She definitely had the most grace and flow in her poses of the top 3 girls, so that's probably a huge factor on why she ended up in that top spot. Rayanne, I think, just needs a little bit more size for her to move up. I know a lot of people were saying that she should have gotten first, and I love her physique. I think she looks great, but yeah, I think her legs could use a little bit more size. Speaking of more size, Sunny Andrews did put a significant amount of size on her legs, and she dropped down the size of her glutes quite a bit, but it looks like they're still saying that her glutes have outgrown her legs. I think she drastically improved from her physique at the Olympia, where she placed 16th, but I think she deserved better than 8th place. That's something that comes down to there only having been 8 people at the Arnold, because there were a few dropouts, some changes to the lineup. So that's something that I think the Arnold should work on for next time. Maybe have a few alternates so that if there are people that drop out, they can send the invitation to their alternates and get a full lineup of 10 competitors. I would have loved to have seen Deja Johnson on stage there, Bruna Seredic on stage. It would have been great to see them. I love both of their physiques, and I just think having a full 10 competitors would have been much better, a much better representation of the sport across the board. Some things I noticed from prejudging to finals, it looked like Marissa's peak came late. So I first, when I was like taking notes for this video, I literally put in my phone, Marissa's conditioning looks off compared to the Olympia, but then for finals, it looked much closer on par with what she brought to the Olympia. So I think she and her coach just maybe missed the mark a little bit for getting her conditioning in for prejudging. If they had done so, she might have been able to snag 4th, but she came in a little bit late, so I think they'll probably be working on that for the next time she steps on stage, which I am very excited to see. I saw she posted online she's headed for improvement season, so I'm excited to see the next time she's on stage, because I know she's a hard worker and I can't wait to see what she brings the next time around. All right, so that wraps up what I have to say for like the wellness division in general. In future years, I really would like to see the Arnold bring back figure, women's physique, women's bodybuilding, and men's 212. It kind of felt like an incomplete show. Yeah, it was very short compared to the Olympia, which took hours and hours and hours, with some divisions having like 60 plus competitors. But the Arnold doesn't have that problem because it's invite only. You know, they bring 10 competitors in from each division, and since they had so many dropouts in each division this year, it was, 8 and 9 competitors in some of the divisions. So they had the time to include the other divisions, but they had already made the decision not to. And in my opinion, if you're using the reasoning that they cut these divisions because they're not as marketable, maybe you're not a very good promoter. I just think it was a big mistake to cut these divisions, and I really hope to see them back up on the Arnold stage in future years. So that is what I've got for my Arnold recap. We've got a few things in store this year for my YouTube channel. Last year I was like, yeah, I'm gonna recap this many videos, and I didn't. I literally did one video and then I ghosted you all. Not the case this year. I have a plan written out for the entire year of which shows I'll be recapping. I've got some vlogs planned for you guys. I will be starting prep for my own shows here soon. I'll be competing in the fall, and I really look forward to documenting my journey. So I will see you guys in those videos. Thanks.